weren't tricking you this
The only
time.
reason I knew it was him is because Clay was asked, would you like a George Strait song to request? So there you go. Hi, Clay.
Hello, Troubadour is it, man. That's my walk-up song. I know that I would have to be like Scott Hodey, like stay in the on-deck circle for a long time for it to get to the appropriate lines,
Be the longest walk-up of all time, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I don't really know that I feel like I'm 25 still, and I don't raise Cain with the boys much, which those are the opening lines there. But yeah, I will be an old troubadour when I go out, and that'll be probably pretty soon.
Clay, we don't talk very much golf here, or maybe at all. But
not by choice.
I love golf.
I love it. I wish we would talk more about it.
It's by ignorance on my part more than anything else.
That's okay. Well, sometimes you have to be smart and just talk about the things you know, right?
That's true.
Don't stumble into something and play the fool.
Like the one time we brought up horse racing, SmackDown and I tried to talk just a tiny little bit of horse racing. We got a text from Hot Springs like, don't do that again. That didn't work.
Don't embarrass yourself.
No, exactly.
I get it.
But when we've got Clay here, we can talk golf because you guys can do it. And there's a big controversy going on here with Phil Mickelson and this potential Saudi tour. And it looks like Mickelson is kind of, he kind of like dragged himself through the mud. And now everybody else is doing the same thing.
Yeah, there's an interesting Arkansas tie to Phil. His agent, really, since he got into professional golf, is Steve Loy, who was golf coach at Arkansas, left Arkansas. Coach Broyles had told him that he probably would be athletic director. Of course, that was a smart move by Steve's part to leave because Coach Broyles was athletic director for another 30 years after that. So it's like you don't want to be the AD in waiting for Coach Broyles because it's going to be a long wait. But he went to Arizona State, and then his first recruit, really first signee there was Phil Mickelson. And when Phil finished, his career, went to pro golf, Steve just went with him, which was smart on his part. He's made millions as Steve's agent, and probably has done a better job investing than Phil. Phil's a gambling addict. He's self-admitted. And I have, this is kind of crazy stuff. It really is. And, he's backed himself into a corner, and, his apology that wasn't an apology to me. It was, okay, first of all, I'm blaming the guy that wrote this, who has, come out and said that Phil called him, and nothing was off the record. It was all on the record, which, you kind of had a feeling that was the case. This is a, well-respected journalist. And, then he's, a little bit of an apology. And then it's like, okay, then it's backtracking. I love the Saudis. And, that wasn't the right thing to say either. It's bizarre. It really is.
It sounds like he's using this to try to put some sort of pressure on the PGA
leverage.
Tour, or leverage is the word he used. So what is it that
not
he
going to
wants?
work. The PGA Tour is in its golf, and he's like this Saudi tour is gonna bail out golf. Golf is at a pinnacle.
Oh, it is.
It's at its highest point. Manufacturers cannot keep up. They cannot build new clubs fast enough. They can't make the new golf balls fast enough. The demand in golf, you can't get a tee time, at the top places around the world. It is the most incredible surge because of the pandemic. Golf was a place that you could hang out. And so he's misguided in almost every step that he's made. PGA Tour is about to have a major windfall, as mobile gambling continues to surge. We're about to get it in Arkansas, right? Just a few days away. And it will be billions that come in, and the players will benefit there. It's, all the top end players know that. And, Phil I don't know what is his deal. I guess he thought that he was going to play both sides of the fence. That ain't going to happen.
No, and it's definitely not both sides of the fence that you want to really be caught in. I mean, you don't want to get caught in between the PGA Tour where you've made all this livelihood and like you said, he has a gambling addiction where he continues to make money. And then you definitely don't want to make people from Saudi Arabia mad. Like, that is a huge no-no. I mean, there was a journalist who did that who got killed. I mean, not too long ago. You don't do that. These are two groups of people that you really don't want to piss off. One, for your livelihood, and two, and the second one, for your life. And it feels like to me, because as I've been following this along, because this Saudi Super League thing has been talked about for, I'd say, about a year now, and it's kind of built up some momentum, kind of like a roller coaster, up and down, as far as if it's going to be a real thing. And when it comes to Phil, I think he got ahead of himself, because we've had reports of, guys like Bryson DeChambeau and Justin Johnson of possibly really considering it. And I think Phil kind of got ahead of it, thinking that he was going to get all these yeses when all he got was some maybes, I don't knows.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see. His fan support has been immense. Like when he won at Kiowa Island, the PGA, it was an incredible scene. But there's an awful lot of people that are kind of pushing back now that maybe he can still handle this, but he's got to don't be crafting apologies that aren't apologies.
Mm-hmm.
It was just after the Razorback basketball game, and I know we need to talk about that, which I want to, but after the game, I was just kind of mesmerized watching the Golf Channel, and some of the. Brandel Chambly just roasted him. I mean, of course, there's nobody that can roast a golfer like he can. But I was just like, man, it looked like Brandel had just gotten out of bed. Like, well, listen, I'm going to jump on this with a Zoom because I can't stand myself. I got to do it.
Yeah. And Clay, you were explaining to me during the break, and I know there's probably a lot of people listening in the younger age group that follows golf and have followed this story and have seen the name of Greg Norman being thrown out. And a lot of people in my age demographic don't really remember him as a golfer, kind of just know him as a from his clothing line. Yeah. Why isn't he getting as much? Yeah, why isn't he getting as much pushback as Phil is?
This is about the third time that he's tried to form a spinoff tour. And in other words, it's like, I don't like the way they're doing it. And everyone has always said that was a power grab, that that he didn't have anything else to offer. And usually when he's done something like that, if there was something that he pointed to that wasn't right, the tour quickly fixed it. And the retirement funds now, for instance, Phil's got around $250 million in his retirement package that's funded by the tour. Mm-hmm. Just think about that. I mean, what's he thinking? He's set for life. He doesn't need to, bat these guys around. I'm talking about management of the tour. And of course, the players run the tour. Mm-hmm. It's Rory McIlroy is on their policy board, and he's comfortable with everything they're doing. And he's not an American. He's come here, but Greg Norman he's a different cat, and he has been anti-tour for really his entire time, and I always thought that he had better answers, and I haven't seen him if he's got them. Well, and he was one of my heroes, just as Phil is, but this is just misguided.
I hear there's going to be I think a documentary, I don't know if it's a 30 for 30 or whatnot, about Greg Norman's meltdown at the Masters, so it's not the best week for him, I think.
Probably not.
We got a caller on hold here, wants to speak with us. Let's take that, and then we'll have the break. Terrell in Texas on hold. Hey, Terrell, you're on halftime. What's going on?
Hey, I'm doing all right. I'm doing pretty good. I'm just so excited about I want to talk about two things about the Hogs men's basketball team. Man, I'm so excited. I'm way up here, man. Actually, I went to work. I didn't want to see the game. I just want to see the results. Man, I came back after, I think because I work at night, and I was like, let me check out the game score. I checked out the game score. I was so excited, man. The Hogs they can win ugly, or they can win it in the scoring fest. Mm-hmm. They can outscore you, or they can play in the ugly game defense, and the chemistry is so good, man. So good. So good. I like how Muss is doing everything, man. I like how he's recruiting. He's doing an excellent job. Keep up the good work. The Roll Hogs, I call them the Roll Hogs in Texas.
The Roll Hogs, that's good.
Road Hogs, let's go. Let's go, baby. Let's go, Hogs.
They're on a roll for sure. They're on a roll for sure.
Yeah, they're on the roll.
A dangerous team can win at a bunch of different scores, Terrell. You're right about that.
Right. They got multiple scores like a Mude, Debo, Note. They got Williams. They got a whole bunch of scores. They can do it in different ways. They can break you down. I like how our guards are playing or in defending. And the other thing I want to talk about is how about the Razorback program? You got to give it to the athletic director. He is doing a terrific job. We are one of the best, number one team as far as athletics. We winning in everything. Baseball. If you want to talk about basketball, we winning in basketball. We winning in football. We winning in, let's see, what else we winning in?
Softball, they've been winning.
Take your pick. Number 18 in softball.
Take your pick.
We're winning in golf. We're winning in track. We're winning in everything. We ranked in everything. That's a terrific job of what we is doing on top of the hill. You got to give him props. He is doing an athletic, great job. I'm glad he's getting a raise. I hope he stay there. Keep on paying that man. He is doing a terrific job. And I'm so excited how the Razorbacks are growing as a program. How about that? Let's give it to them.
Thanks for calling in. I think we call it the salad days up on the hill because everybody's doing well. For a while, it was like everybody's doing well except football. Now football looks pretty darn good. Halftime brought to you by Baxter Regional Medical Center, nonprofit health system, been focusing on providing high-quality, compassionate care since 1963. They've been named to Modern Health Magazine's Best Places to Work during 2021. They also hold Arkansas Business Magazine's Best Places to Work in Arkansas for 3 years running. Baxter Regional also recently named one of the top 100 rural and community hospitals in the United States. There are 11 county service areas all across north central Arkansas and south central Missouri, 250 providers, over 1,800 employees, and over 40 locations from Harrison to Hardy and West Plains to Mountain View. Baxter Regional Medical Center. Halftime right back. And Clay Henry with us for this last segment of hour number one before we get into the downslope towards the weekend. Clay, Bus is just rolling, man. I couldn't believe that it had been 15 years or 15 straight games since they'd last won in Gainesville.
27 years.
It's amazing. It really is, because some of those weren't like the really good Florida teams either, and it looked like Arkansas had better rosters than Florida did in those cases. This is a different team that you've got right here, and man, the offense travels 2 games in a row on the road. This is a really dangerous club, and I don't think anybody'd be surprised now if they make the same kind of run you saw last year.
I ran into Corey Beck a couple of days ago and talked to him again this morning, and he was on that 95 team, and he doesn't remember much about that game other than, that Arkansas won. And, it was a happy plane trip coming back. But it's like, and then Jimmy Counts was texting me last night. And of course, he was on the Final Four team with Sutton. And both of them talk about the same thing, the toughness of the team. And to me, toughness it's one of those intangibles. And you might have a player or two on occasion that you say, that's a tough guy out there. That guy can, you find him in other sports too. But it's the attribute in sports that is the hardest to really have a complete team that is tough, 1 through about 8. But that's what I'd say these guys are. And, I mean, when Corey Beck likes you because of you're tough, that's saying something, because he might be the toughest of all time. I mean, he really was. He's a guy that would slug Corliss Williamson in the chest before every game. It's like, I'm hitting you. Now I want you to go out there and hit them the same way. And he had a way of bringing that toughness. And that's what you need when you go to a place like that on the road. It's not an easy place to play, and it requires toughness for 40 minutes.
Sure does. Let me ask: what are you seeing from Devo Davis? It was obvious, like when they went through that stretch of losses in 5 of 6, something wasn't right with him, and it's taken some time to get to where I think we expected he might be, but he's there. He looks like a player who's improved upon last year now.
Yeah. See, I think that, and I'm not inside his head, but I think that sometimes we read our press clippings. I probably would if I was him, or some of the other guys. And, there was a lot said about him. And I think he probably thought he's just going to the next level. This was just kind of an in-between year. And it's not as easy as that. And I think it took him a little while to gain his focus on what he had to do to help this team. And he had worked so hard on his three-point shooting, and you just didn't see that early. But now you do. And there was a play where he got the ball in the middle of the zone, or middle of maybe they were playing man, I don't know, late in the game. And he just held it. And, I've seen other players that they just sling it up when they're in that position, deep in the lane with players all around. And he just waited and waited. And then somebody cut. I think it might have been Tony. And he fed him for a layup. And to me, that was the most beautiful play. And it showed complete poise, like I don't have to give this ball up here.
Well, and we've seen incredible ball movement for this team in the last couple of games. They're a lot of fun to watch.
And their defense is just superior.
Well, and that's become the thing you hang your hat on. Yeah. Team that hangs their hat on defense can win any
But their
game.
offense is coming now, and that's but Devo is the X factor. All those other guys can play too, but he's the X factor that can take them over the top.
And I'm starting to feel like in about a month from now, we'll still be talking about this team playing games. Clay, thanks, man. Always appreciate you.
Okay, thank y'all.
Appreciate it, Clay.
Stay tuned. More halftime after the break. Get with us at 877-377-6963 on an icy or slatey or something other Wednesday.
Football might be over this season, but basketball is in full steam for both pros and college hoops. For all the latest odds, totals, player performance props, to where the next fired coach is going to land, BetOnline is the #1 spot for all your sports betting needs. Head over to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Use our promo code BELIEVE to get started. That's promo code BLEAV. And it's not just basketball. BetOnline is your source for hockey, boxing, and UFC odds, right to the Olympic coverage, is the best in the business. From sports right down to your favorite Vegas casino games, BetOnline is your #1 online wagering destination. BetOnline, the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports and play your favorite games. BetOnline, where the game starts.